I never planned to move abroad. It started with a 2-month exchange program. But that one small decision ended up changing my entire life. And at the time, I didn't know it would shift everything. I just knew I needed something different, something that felt new and honest to myself. And looking back now, I can see it wasn't just a trip, it was the beginning of me reconnecting with who I really am. Hi, I am Luciana and I help people back to their true energy and purpose through self-discovery, mindset, and Kundalini Yoga. And today I want to share how that short trip eventually led me to move abroad without a plan to return, and why I believe taking a gap year in whatever way works for you can be the one of the most transformative choice you ever make. And I'm not gonna share here my story. I want to help you understand what a gap year really is and how powerful it can be for you to transform your mindset, expand your awareness, and reconnect with what truly matters to you. Even if you're not ready to move across the world, this might open something inside of you. So, stay with me until to the end, relax, and let's explore this together. Like I said, it started with a short exchange program. It was under 2 months. I had no big plans. I just had this feeling like telling me, go, try this, get some space. And that trip gave me something I didn't even know I was missing: freedom and space to breathe, a break from my routine. And in that space, I felt lighter, clear. It was like I could finally hear myself again. And after that, I couldn't go back to how things were. Not completely. So I started to travel more often, not for vacation, but for expansion. And I kept feeling this pull to explore the world and myself. And over time, I realized I didn't want to keep going back to the life I had before. So eventually, I decided to move abroad without a perfect plan. Actually, I didn't have a plan, but I just had this deep knowing that this was my next chapter. Now, I want to pause and explain something here for you, because when people hear about gap year, they often think it's about student take a year off to travel. But a gap year can happen at any age in any season of your life. And you might be in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, or even beyond that. If you're ready for a new kind of freedom. So there is no rule, and it's not about age. It's about giving yourself permission to explore what is next outside of everything familiar. And it could be 3 months, 6 months, a year, or even more. So also the timeline doesn't matter. It is the intention that changes everything. And when you step away from what is familiar, something inside of you shifts. And for me, the change wasn't just external. Even though I saw new places, people, but the deeper shift was within. I stopped living on autopilot. I stopped doing things just because I always had. And I started asking myself, what do I actually want? So I became more intuitive, more connected to my body, my energy, and my truth. And I started to realize how much my old life had been shaped by expectation, not by who I really was. But being in a new place gave me permission to just be. No old roles or no pressure. So that allowed me to rebuild my sense of self from the inside out. We don't always realize how much our environment shapes us. The conversations, the expectations, the energy, they all influence how we show up. And over time, we start living from habit instead of truth. And when you take a gap year, even a short one, you give yourself space to see your patterns, to feel what's real, to break free from what no longer fits. And that's where transformation happens. Now, if you want to take this time to be meaningful, it needs direction, because what creates real transformation is living with meaning, connecting with people, new experience, and a deeper part of you. And this wasn't about escaping, it's about expanding your purpose. So when you imagine your version of a gap year, ask yourself, what am I passionate about? What am I curious to learn, try, to explore? What lights me up, even if I haven't given it space yet? Where could I contribute or connect in a way that feels meaningful? So you might take a course, you might volunteer for a cause that matters to you, teach something you love, or learn something new, or immerse yourself in a different community, or even work on something you're passionate about, but not for money, but for meaning. And it doesn't have to be extreme, it just has to be real. And it has to involve more than isolation, because growth happens when we create, serve, learn, and connect. And if something inside of you is saying, I want this, I need this, so trust that. You don't need a perfect plan, you don't need to explain it to everyone, but you do need to follow that whisper, the one that is calling you into something new. Because sometimes your whole life shifts from one brave yes. And if you're feeling that pull to reconnect with yourself, whether you're just starting to explore or you're already preparing, I create a free reset breath guide to help you ground, release stress, and come back to clarity. It's simple, it's powerful, and you'll find in the link below. Now, if you know you want to take this leap, but you're not sure what kind of gap year is right for you or how to make it count, I would love to support you on that journey. My one-on-one self-discovery coaching, we work together to uncover your passions, your purpose, and create a meaningful direction for your gap year or even your life, and turn this time into a season of transformation. And not just to change, but to transform your life. So the coaching link is in the description below if you're ready for this. Thank you so much for being here with me. And if this message spoke to you, leave a comment. I would love to know what came up for you. Whatever your path takes you next, I hope it brings you closer to your truth. Much love and light for you, and I see you in the next video.